Hi everyone, Tarot Chats here with Dose Truth Tarot, aka Eloise and Terryann. Hello.
Yeah.
We are finishing our series today. You can tell we've been wearing the same thing for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
It was just easy to record them back to back.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we know what we've said and not said. But we're doing a series on if you do a spread and you get lots of the same type of cards. So we've done the 4 suits. But today we're going to do something a little bit different and touch on the majors.
Yeah. So what happens if you've got a lot of major arcana? So this could be a year study. So I need to put in a synopsis. What happens? So the first thing you could notice is if you've got half the cards, even for me, but if I see in an area 3 cards, like let's say I did a 9-card spread and there was a major, and they're really close together, that's significant. That's significant. You get more than 3, it's very significant. So if you got half or more are your majors, you can't just sort of step aside.
You have to comment on it.
Well, and also it's going to be highly influential in the reading, because if you're like me and you're using your minors as that is the manifest world, but the majors are the vertical, meaning it's talking about you as a soul. It's talking about your entire journey here. Now, you could be diminutive and do a reading with your majors and talk about everyday life. Sure, you can. You absolutely can. But to get this depth and breadth of a reading, when you start seeing majority, this person is shifting in a way that is not, you're going to change jobs. It is not, you're going to shed 10 pounds. It is not, your emotions are going to go away. It's going to depend on which card. So that's which card or cards come up. Right. So we've already mentioned devil, right? So devil is often affiliated with willful blindness. So you get, let's say you have willful blindness, then you have the tower, and then you have judgment. What a combination. That is a crazy combination, especially I've seen them come up for myself and other people in sequence. So to me, that is a massive point in life. Your willful blindness is about to reveal itself. You're going to break it down, and you will be reborn. So anything coming after that, like let's say someone says, yeah, but I really want to know whether I'm going to get this job. It's like, yeah, but you're going to go through this transition. Yeah. You may not even want that job. Then they'll say, well, how do I know? Like we could. So I don't think we've done this much, but we can force the cards. Now, when I say force the cards, if I've done a general reading for someone, I've spoken for half an hour about their lives, I've done this whole reading and everything that, is coming to me is answered. And they still want to know whether they're going to get a job. First of all, I feel like they didn't hear the reading, especially if there's a lot of majors. And now they're still focusing on, but I want that job.
Just that one thing.
Yeah, so you never know. They could get the job, which is fine, or they might not. But the cards don't care about that job.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant at this point because there's such a big shift they're going through. So I'll do it. I'll force the cards, meaning, if there are questions, there's some questions that aren't forcing the cards, like they weren't, just wasn't clear, let's say, in the reading, and we want some clarity on it. But if we're asking something that didn't pop up in the reading, let's say they want to know something about their child, that would be different. That's forcing the cards. But when it comes to them personally, if it doesn't show up at the job, the cards just don't care.
Yeah,
it's not important. This is what's
whatever.
Well, not just, that's a really good way to put it, but the cards are really, there's something really big happening to you. Now, we can have big moments in life. We call those missed opportunities, right? We say, oh, you know, I missed this opportunity. Well, you can miss the opportunity. Let's say, you know, 111 happens every day, right? 111 happens every day. 1111 happens every day, you know, but there's always these special moments when it's 1111 or it's 333 or it's, you know, we get so excited about these things, but they're happening all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And they happen twice a day. 1111 happens twice a day. So,
and if all your clocks are different, it might happen for about 5 minutes every day.
There you go. So, yeah, so we miss these opportunities to, let's say, use the because there can be doorways that open up to us, right? So if I look at my cards and it goes, there's a massive transformation happening to you today, and then I go through the day and come out the other end and go, I don't think anything transformed.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Nothing. I don't. Then I look a little closer at the cards and realize, but you need to take a break. You need to go sit by a lake. You need to be super quiet and, you know, really focus on this. Or you need to go to the hermit, or today's the day to call your practitioner. Or, you know, because it just shows what's opening up. It could be planets, and you can look at the planets through your major arcana, right? So if you have the Gemini card, it's Mercury. And let's say you have the Gemini card and a bunch of other ones, and things are shifting. It could be your misunderstandings could be shifting, or you could have a lot of misunderstandings that are going to take you down a dead road. But of course, again, it's going to depend on the cards. So because the majors are so diverse and vast, and you know, the explanations for each card can go on and on. You do need to know somewhat, you know, what that card means on a vertical. Like traditionally, the Lovers, marriage, you know, union. But if you really look at it, it's the masculine and feminine are balancing out. They're coming to, and that doesn't mean it's perfect balance all the time, but there's a greater discovery of the feminine and masculine. And that could be so powerful. Yeah. Actually, now that I've said that, which is really interesting, there's this Healy. I wear it sometimes, you know, it's a little Healy device, and you can have your aura read, you know, and it reads the aura, and then it starts to treat, you know, where your let's say one chakra is going into a chakra it shouldn't be in, and influencing it, so you experience certain things. And today, one of the things that came up that was that the realization of my feminine and masculine is being integrated, because it's come to a balance. I was like, huh, that's really interesting, because it really gives you anything too good, right? It's always focusing on the thing that's wrong there. So I'm like, that's really interesting. Why do I feel so crappy?
Yeah.
And I went, oh. Then I went further down, and it said there's an integration going on. So, all right, so there's a lot of awareness, you know, on how my masculine and feminine functions, which, you know, depending on how much you know that the sympathetic parasympathetic system, sympathetic is masculine, parasympathetic is feminine. You have, you know, Ida Pingala channels. I mean, there's so much going on. Whatever you know, that's for you. You could be an electrician, you know, that the female is the socket and the male is the plug. Really easy, really easy to understand those, the masculine and feminine. Some of us understand that the masculine is action, the feminine is a passive but dynamic energy, which relates a lot to fire. I mean, you could go on and on with this, right? You know, I find this really tricky. I've been listening to a couple of films, and they keep saying, you don't mind if I say God is a woman, it's a she. And I'm like, oh, gosh, that doesn't make any sense to me when it comes to male, female, because the masculine is the creator and the feminine is the destroyer. So, that we have this God that we ask, to do things and go out and do it. To me, he's got to be male, because the feminine tells the masculine what to do. So, if I'm in my creative and, it's like, I think I'm gonna bake, then I tell my masculine, which is my movement, my energy, I tell it to go, and I go start baking a cake. So there's an understanding of my masculine, feminine. I think we misinterpret when we think we're talking about sex. It's not about sex. And you can be born in a woman's body, but have more masculine traits and less feminine at different points in your life. It's always changing. That's why we're individuals. We're not sitting here with like 50% and 50% of each. We've got a variation, and we're constantly shifting and changing. There are times in my life where I'm just so passive, apparently, but there's so much dynamism. I'm doing nothing, but there's
a lot happening.
When you sleep, it's the moon time, feminine. You're sleeping. Well, yeah, okay. You're in your feminine, but man, what's going on in the body? It's healing, it's resting, it's discharging, it's cleaning, it's taking care of itself. There's so much going on. So I think our misunderstandings of that is pretty critical, because we don't really understand how this body mind functions, and we end up saying this is women and this is men. It's like, oh yeah, I wish we were that simple. We're not that simple. It would be nice.
Everything's so interrelated. There's no
so interrelated, and trying to categorize oneself,
put in a box.
And we do it all the time, right? Oh, this is what I am. Okay, I know I am a woman, but what is that? Right? What is that? But we have to start making these ideas of what a woman is, and and we've got to validate it when it's constantly changing. When I'm at work, there's a high feminine, right? But there's also the masculine that has to organize things and get everything categorized. Exactly. So we got to do both, right? So people get over involved in that. Well, again, we know identity is a problem. Is once you have an identity, it just rigidifies, which goes to your tower. Then willful blindness. So you have willful blindness is your devil. You can be blind to the feminine, masculine. Then your relationship's going to be crappy, or it's going to resolve itself. So I brought up 3 cards. I brought up the Judgment card. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you look around and see this is a very powerful moment in someone's life, and what's the focus? So those combinations, I've just given you an exciting way to read it. It could be, what if the star comes up? That's an important card. A very important card. It's got 2 ways I look at it. One is I could make a wish upon a star, but also playing the starring role in our lives.
Yeah.
Right? And most people don't. And when, to me, it's a call to action where, you really need to play a starring role in your life. Just as everyone does, right? You played the starring role in your life. I played the starring role in my life. If I make Eloise the star, well, we're going to have a lot of problems. From there, you might see a lot of fire, which means, let's say I put Eloise as the star of my life. She's more important than me. She's the center of my life. What do you think will happen? The resentment will build.
I will be telling you what to do, and you'll resent it.
Exactly. Telling you what to, or make it even more subtle than that. You will be saying, okay, here are the things we need to do, Terryann, and I'll resent you. So you wouldn't even be telling me what to do. You'd just be going, these are the things we need to do. And I would interpret it as you're telling me what to do. That's bad. That's bad for all relationships. So when the star card comes, it can help bust you out of even your resentments. But of course, again, what are the other cards that are coming up? Ill health could be the same thing for the star. You can go to the doctor. I had a woman once, I was treating her, and I had suggested to her very gently a couple of times she needs to take better care of herself and stop thinking about other people so much. And in the third time I said, I'm warning you, you need to do this. And I rarely, it's very rare I give warnings. So, but you got to do something. And she said, I won't, I refuse. I was like, okay,
great.
Well, that really, just shows everyone else is more important than me, and she's dying of cancer. So interesting. And I know that, I don't begrudge this woman that, because I do the same thing. Especially, how do you make yourself the star? Let's go with, if you have the strength card. You can often use your will and your strength to keep yourself on the beaten path, keep yourself on the straight and narrow, keep yourself balanced on the middle road. I have to do this and that. And then your health goes, and you keep trying and trying till finally one day you go, you know what, I'm using my strength to do everything but take care of me. And then you might notice you use your strength to stop yourself. This has been very fascinating for me, using my strength to stop myself from going to my habitual doing.
Habits.
Yeah. Like, well, okay, I gave myself a rest day. Why don't I just go work?
Yeah, exactly. Because one day is enough.
Not when you fried out your nervous system. It's not enough. It's not enough. And then you think, well, I'm guilty of this, going, yeah, but I've reduced my workload. But I keep reducing it, and I'm still exhausted. And then I realize, oh, it's not only how much work, but it's even just having the work on your plate and not giving your body the space to do what it wants. You're waking up and you're going straight to a session, straight to getting ready, doing another session, even though it's not that many. But you're experiencing that energy. So star cards. God, there's so much you could. This is the majors. I don't necessarily talk this much during a reading about each single card, but when it does come together, it can really be a beautiful moment for that person. Or it could be that they really won't look at it, and their karma is going to smack them. I mean, those are the extremes again, right? So you want to be reading, what is it that this person is about to experiencing? What are the influences? I mean, if the moon comes up, that's a huge feminine energy. The sun comes, well, you're about to go out there and manifest stuff. This is a doing time for you. This is an action time for you. Okay. Yeah, good fun. But once you start getting more than one can give you a nice theme running through the reading. So it is a little different than, when you're looking at, it's quite different if you just have one or two versus a few more. Then you start getting that sense, oh, this person's going through a bigger transformation. So think of the majors as transformation. So whatever you know about those cards, or whatever you can, access about those cards, from your repertoire of fairy tales, or, understandings, or biblical, or whatever you look at, or see what it's trying to tell you. And I'd love to hear what you come up with. It is, the possibilities are endless. It's really, a lot of tarot is learning how to get the words out. It's learning not just the words, but to be able to put you know, the cards together, like one card on its own, you could describe a certain way, then you bring in another one and another one, then you're talking about this big story. So yeah, that'd be fun.
Cool. Well,
Well,
thank you for this series. I think it would be fascinating for everybody.
it'll be
Yeah.
fascinating.
Any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll get to them in another video. And yeah, check out our website if you want to know more about us, our training. If you want to leave us your email and we can be in touch when things open. All that jazzy stuff. But
And don't
yeah.
forget, smash the like button,
I was waiting for you to
subscribe, share. You know, it's going to be so much fun. I love creating community online. You know, we haven't really created a tarot community yet.
We're working.
But we've got
part of the fam. Yeah.
Yeah, but we've got other communities that get together and do work together. So it'd be interesting having that interaction. All right. So
Cool.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.